So what's the Grape Explorer talking about today? Well, one of my favorite areas in all of Bordeaux is the Grave region. And for many, many reasons, it's a historical area which is quite fascinating. But we're going to highlight a property today which is called Chateau Fougeres. And Chateau Fougeres is a very, very interesting property. It is actually the home of the Montesquieu family. And if anybody doesn't know, but Montesquieu was a very famous historian and poet. And Thomas Jefferson, who was visiting Bordeaux at that time when he was the ambassador from America to France, he visited this property. And the reason why was because he took a lot of the foundations of the Montesquieu writings, and that's what we have in our Constitution today. So this was something that was very interesting to me, was to visit this property, which I went in April to see this chateau. But we highlighted this area of Grave today. And actually, as you can see, downtown Bordeaux is right over here. And if you go down here, you'll see Pessac-Lignon, which is quite famous for Aubryon and Smith-Lafitte. And you go a little farther south here, you'll come to this area, which is called Grave. And Grave is a very, very special area because you have a lot of chateau producers that are under the Grave appellation. But this producer right here specializes in red wine and specializes in Cabernet Sauvignon. So 2016, this was a beautiful wine. And one thing, when you're driving up to this property, all you see is forests. And it's forest as far as you can see. It's close to 200 acres of just forest and chateau and vineyards. But that forest is interesting because you can actually, when you smell this wine, you get that deep forest scent. You get a lot of tobacco, you get a lot of spice tones, you get a lot of that really rambling kind of fruit, cassis and framboise and cherries and all sorts of beautiful red fruits. So that's something that we wanted to highlight. But there was another thing that might be a little confusing to people, is people want to know what is a second wine of a property. And Bordeaux is very famous for this. In the Grand Cru Classé, they have a lot of second wines, but this producer also produces a second wine. And what was explained to me was the second wine is actually a certain parcel of the property that they don't feel quite gets up to the standards of what they would feel would be in the top wine. And it's also younger vines. So, and it's got a little more Merlot to the composite here than it would be Cabernet Sauvignon. So they are interesting wines. What you get here though is value. So this is something that I think is very, very important to look for, because if you see a property and you'll see the chateau name on it, sometimes you will see the second wine from that property, and that second wine means it's not inferior by any stretch of the imagination. It means that it's a cuvee they feel is either ready to drink young, or it's also from something that they feel is a parcel that they just wanted to highlight in that second wine. And this is Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot. Again, this is the Grape Explorer, talking about grapes, talking about regions, talking about top wine.